Cool. Guys.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Can you guys hear me well? Okay. Regardless, I want to thank the organizers of OSCA for inviting me here. And I want to thank you for taking the time to also attend my talk. Let's see how this works. So before I begin, I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine. Her name is... Okay. Before I begin, I'm going to introduce you to a friend of mine. Her name is Olajumoke Njoko. See, Olajumoke works in the fintech called Neobank, where she's a full-stack engineer, and she thinks that Neobank is going to revolutionize the future of corporate banking, right? She works on the demo platform with product marketing, so they try to show you how Neobank can help you. And what happens is that they're a very small team, so their mantra is move fast, break things, yeah? But on a fateful Friday, when she deployed a new update for work, her boss called her and said, I need you to come in on Saturday. You see, one of the distributed microserverless asynchronous event-driven HTTP Lambda service that was serving the demo dashboard failed. Why? Turns out that it was affected with a glitch called the Zalgo glitch. They had to do some investigation into the Zalgo, and it turns out that the error was caused by an open source package named Color.js. Color.js has been maintained for over 5 years by a developer called Marak. Marak was responsible for also publishing this vulnerability to the package. So this was an act of selfishness to sabotage developers and their time, and also to sabotage corporations that relied on Color.js with over 2 million downloads on NPM. The truth we can learn from this true story of Marak is that open source needs to be designed to be sustainable. Now you see, open source software in economics is a public good, right? The production of public goods means that if an organization is putting in time and effort to produce something that everyone can use freely, they need an incentive to continue producing that product. If there is no incentive, then there is no motivation. So the title of my talk is NFTs and the Future of Web3 Ownership, and we will be looking at it with a case study on open source economies. I know you all like money, but if you listen very well, you understand how deep the concept of NFTs go, why they're important, and how you can leverage them right now before it even becomes a trend to build the next business, to build the next big open source project, or build the next big open source community. And so we continue with the case study on open source economies. Now, by definition, the open source economy is a model where the production of software, services, or other products are driven by open collaboration. Now, that open collaboration has a lot of characteristics. Collaboration, shared outputs, shared resources. When you download an open source package, it's shared. When you go on GitHub and it's open, it's shared. Non-proprietary means that the licenses are also open in the public domain. Now we dig deeper and we find an economy that shares the same characteristics, a decentralized economy. The peer-to-peer characteristics and the transparent characteristics of a decentralized economy means that it's also open, it's also shared, and anyone has access to it. So now let's hold on. I'm going to take you on a journey that started in January 9, 2009. And that's the story of Bitcoin. Now, on the 9th of January, a young man named Satoshi mined the first block of a blockchain currency named Bitcoin. That block had a commit message. The commit message gives us an idea of why Bitcoin was created. It was created to start a new economy. In order to understand how that economy works, we have to look at the 3 characteristics of an economy: production, consumption, distribution. Production refers to the process of creating utility. When that utility meets or satisfies a human need. Let's take, for example, your open source project meets your need to create a select box. You have consumed it. Now, when that utility is consumed and there's a circulation of that utility, we successfully have distribution. So by creating that first Genesis block of Bitcoin, Satoshi started a community that had no third parties, a community that was peer-to-peer, and an economy that also relied on code. Tejas talked briefly here about how humans are all predictable and code can be trusted because you unit test it, you try it. So in order to facilitate that distribution, we had Bitcoin, but Bitcoin wasn't enough. This is where Ethereum came in. You see, Bitcoin was able to facilitate transactions, but it wasn't enough to facilitate utility. And so Ethereum started with what you call the Ethereum Improvement Proposal that allows you to create utility on the blockchain. So essentially that looks like code, something like this. Function approved for owner, function approved mortgage, function approved tenant rights. This is an Ethereum proposal called the 2615 that gives you the ability to create tenancy agreements on the blockchain. So if you're going to start being able to, there's the metaverse and all that stuff, which is popular. So if you're going to create the next tenant platform, the next mortgage platform on the blockchain, it has already been defined. It has already been stated in code. It's what you build with it that matters. ERC20 is the standard for currencies on the blockchain, and we know all of that today. From ICOs, from Link, BNB, whatnot, we have a lot of them. But this talk is about the ERC 721. Remember how we said it's a proposal, and they have numbers and names. The ERC 721 is the model that we use to define NFTs. So let me paint a picture for you. You have Bitcoin. You can buy it, you can sell it. But what else can you do with it? We as human beings are driven by ownership. So if you get your Bitcoin, you take it to go and party, you take it off-ramp to buy a house. On the blockchain, we're able to prove that we can earn. We created the currency model, ERC20, to be able to transact, but we did not have a model to own. Now, ownership is a core part of human behavior. As you live your life every day, ownership is important. You own the shirt you wear, you own the watches, you own the laptop. There is a receipt that defines it. But you see, that behavior wasn't able to come to the blockchain until NFTs came. And so it changed it, because now you have NFTs, a secure blockchain-based certificate that represents entitlement. This entitlement has created a lot of projects. So to give you an example, the popular ones are the apes, etc., where you can buy it and you can sell it for money. But do you know you can buy stocks on the blockchain? And when you buy those stocks, what you receive are NFTs on a platform like Uniswap. When you buy the equivalent of a domain, what you receive is an NFT on ENS. Now, the use cases abound. So remember, decentralized economy, open source economy, how do they come together? So this is what this is where this talk, pivots. The shared output nature of open source signifies co-ownership of pull requests, commits, documentation, collaborative efforts. So we are all contributors, which means we are all producers. Remember, I stated the three characteristics of any economy: production, consumption, distribution. So when you publish a package on NPM, you are publishing. When you post the documentation, push that commit to GitHub, you are producing. When you run NPM install, PIP install, what are you doing? You are consuming. The three characteristics. Now, if you take it, every day you make that GitHub commit compared to this picture, you'll find out that in the first one, we have a commit, which is signed by your email, etc. In the second one, it's also a commit, which is signed by a transaction hash that is verifiable on the blockchain. Now, what makes this important is because on the blockchain, you have digital ownership that is provably unique, is verifiable, is immutable, meaning that it cannot be removed, and it is scarce and secure. So in this economy, producers are empowered with the capacity to fully own every form of yield of their creation, and distributors are incentivized through tokens to facilitate consumption. So I'm going to give you a quick case study. This is Coordinate. Coordinate empowers communities to be able to empower their members and NFT holders to coordinate contributions in the decentralized economy. So yesterday we were at Sustain Africa, and someone mentioned something about a data science open source community. Now, if you're in data science, you know that the contributions in data science are beyond just commits and documentation. You're actually testing for models, weights. Those things cannot be accounted of in contribution. But what if we could create a decentralized, unique, verifiable proof that you're able to test that model as part of a community? You will be incentivized directly by just contributing. The second platform is Lens Protocol. Lens Protocol is the protocol that powers social graph, your likes, your retweets. So if you're a developer influencer, with Lens Protocol on the blockchain, you can change how you manage outreach. In fact, if you're a developer influencer, with NFTs alone, this protocol can ensure you earn autonomously because there is verifiable proof as to how your actions are. Your social graph is verifiable and is authentic. The next platforms that build on top of this will be worth billions of dollars. Then we have Radical. Radical is a decentralized code collaboration platform. Think GitHub, think NPM. But if you could change how it works, if you could earn from every download of your NPM package, if you could earn from every commit you made, if you could earn from every documentation you made without actually interfacing with any human being. Remember, in a decentralized economy, code determines the execution of every action. So all you just need to do is take the NFT that proves your identity, make your commits, and go to sleep. You receive the token autonomously. This is the future of the world we are entering into now, where everything is driven by code. It is on a blockchain which is immutable, and it is transparent, and it is provably unique and scarce. Well, like at this point, this is the pivot. Everything we need to coordinate our communities, our organizations and projects in order to produce, distribute, and consume has already been designed. So the question I'll ask you today is, what will you build, right? Like, what are you going to create? This knowledge is here. The interfaces have been designed. You have the capacity. You can write documentation. You can build. You can write code. You can create platforms. And it's not even hard. Take an existing open source NPM package. There is PNPM. It's open source. Take it, implement a decentralized model, and you're ready to blow, sort of. So thank you for attending my lightning talk. My name is Andrew Miracle. I forgot to do an introduction. Yeah. Okay.
Sure, I told you guys that you'd enjoy it. Did you guys enjoy it? Yes. I see, this is what we want. Sweet. Well, I'm glad that you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions for Andrew, meet him definitely. Share ideas amongst yourself as well. At the end of the day, we all want to secure the bag. So we spoke, you did not listen, but you guys spoke and we listened. So now we're actually going to go for brunch. Are you guys excited? Are you excited? Or should we continue with the lightning talks? No, guys, please, I still need to give some announcements. So to ensure that this is as coordinated as possible, where you're going to have to, comply with the volunteers who will usher you guys out to where you'd be getting your brunch. So we're doing like the first 3 rows first. Can I get the volunteers in front, please? So in the next 2 minutes, they would, walk their way up. So please, follow the directions, pick up what you want, eat, chat, and we should be back here in 20 minutes.
Yeah, if you are outside and you are at the stairs, please come back into the hall and stay at your seats because we're trying to make this as coordinated as possible. So we're trying to do it like row by row. So if you are not tethered to a seat or on a row, your food will miss. So please, if you're outside, come inside so that we can come inside and take your seat so that we can do this orderly, get food, eat, and then we can come back here. Thank you.
Okay, so we would start with the guys on my right.
Yeah.
So in a file, you can just head out to pick up something.
So the first two rows on the right in front here, please, if you could head out to... If you could head downstairs to get your food, that would be nice.